I'm live. Hey guys.
You're live. Okay. Okay, he's live.
So can somebody? Hey guys, Moss here. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if somebody hacked into my account, so you never know what happens these days, right? We're gonna go ahead and just wait. I just want to make sure my computer. Hey guys, is my sound working? Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for being here. Gonna be a crazy day, I guess. A lot of stuff happening. Let me just adjust my setup here since we had to take everything apart. There you go. Alrighty. Happy birthday. Thanks, guys. What a way to start the new birthday, I guess. So you guys can hear me okay, right? I just want to check the sound and then we'll go good. Yeah, there we go. Loud and clear. Awesome, guys. So what we'll do is, oh, thanks, guys. Again, what we'll do, this is Moss on Sundays. Welcome. A little crazy. Somebody hacked into the account. Guys just deleted everything. And then, so we always try to figure out a way to make it, right? No matter what happens in life, right? We always try to figure out a way to get going, to move on. And that's really, the thing that I want to talk about. It's called effortless discipline. So we're going to be talking about that, and then also doing the analysis, live analysis. We're still going to do that. We started a little late, but that's okay. We'll take the same amount of time because I care about you guys, and I just want to do things right, no matter how hard it gets. Sometimes, sometimes you just want to go fuck it, literally, right? So much happening. So we're gonna be talking about that. And then a lot of new events coming up for us as well. There's a lot of new people here going, what the hell, or who the hell is this guy? And sometimes, when you bring in a creative or a disruptive technology into the field, in any field, people get mad. And I think as we've really grown these past few months, and actually these past few weeks, it just like exploded. So, and well, some people get really mad because some people get really frightened, and they stay, well, they're insecure, obviously. And what happens to them is that, they try to shut out, that new technology that's coming in, and you can't help that new technology. So back in the day, even like in snowplowing, okay, just to give you an idea, and it's happened, throughout history, obviously. So many people wishing me happy birthday. Thank you so much, guys. I'll talk about that as well. But back in the day, like the snowplows, when a mechanical snowplow come out, like snow trucks came out. There was people who used to shovel snow back in the day. Yeah, that was their job. They would shovel snow, like they would shovel the streets. Now we just have these huge plows. Well, they would put like barricades underneath the snow. They would put in, big metal bars to mess up the snowplow. Nowadays, what they do, unfortunately, is they hack your account and all that. So it's been happening, and it's kind of sad. And well, it's time for all that shit to stop. It literally is. If something's better, we can't hold on to our old past. We just can't hold on to our old past, right? No matter how hard we try. So whether it's a new technology whether it's a new technology that threatens your technology, or your, say, way of being, you can't just stop it. You can't like destroy it. You can't like kill it off. And that's what's happened in the past. People who have come up with, say, fantastic cures. Yeah, what do? They disappear. People who say tell the truth. What do? All of a sudden they disappear, right? Or crazy suicides, or however crazy death that they have. Um, so we're getting more and more into that, where all these technologies, or you spend millions of dollars, uh, in the government, right, lobbying and misrepresenting the truth and buying out media, buying out scientists, all those things keep layers and layers and layers of just garbage on humanity. And you think, well, you're saving your ass. You're really not. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work out, because later on, that stuff gets exposed. On top of that, it slows down consciousness. So whether it's at a big level, right, where again a new technology comes in, and then there's corporations that try to destroy it or try to control it, that's not going to work either. You have a technology that is really fantastic, and then you try to control it. It just doesn't work anymore. um, it just doesn't work anymore. So let's take a deep breath in, because sooner or later, and that sooner or later is here. That consciousness is here, where you cannot hold on to your old garbage, right? Whether again at a government level, religious level, political level, and then your personal level, right? And this talk is about self-discipline. You just can't hold on to your old shit anymore and think it's okay, right? No matter how hard you try. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of XIers that are here that go, shit, I don't have, I don't want to let go of my stuff. I know who I am, and I can let go of that stuff. There's a lot of people, unfortunately, that are here, that are new, that kind of come from the old paradigm. And I can analyze you. I can analyze anybody, dead or alive. I can say how their patterns work, and it's not psychic abilities or intuition or anything like that. It's a very different level, say, of consciousness that I exist in, that allows me to pretty much see everything about you and the world. So let's take a deep breath in again. So at this time, at this juncture, again, you cannot hold on to any of your old stuff, no matter how you try or what you try. Your old identities, and many of you have experienced it again through the XI process. It just doesn't work out, because no matter how hard you hold on to that identity, it just like starts to separate, and it starts to separate, and it keeps separating and separating and separating. And then what happens? You start to break apart, and then, well, once you completely tear right off that your old identity, what happens is, like, it's like, shit, I should have let that go a long time ago. How many people, again, comment in, how many people have done that through the XI process, right? You've held on to this identity, and you held it on so strong, so complete. And then no matter what you do, right? And it could be any identity, your identity of wealth, your identity of how a relationship works, your identity of how illness works, or an identity of how spirituality or a godhead works. And then what happens? It breaks apart. You basically downward spiral. You break apart, and then what happens? Everything just is a calm, right? Everything is just a calm. And then it's like, shit, why did I hold on to that garbage, that distortion? So that's at a singular level or an individual level. That's happening for people. Now what's happening is at a group level, and and I predicted this by March. By March, and somebody was commenting, my identity of Christian faith, identity of victim. Exactly. And I'm here out in Mexico, guys. So the door's open. Some of you commenting on the beautiful bird that's out there. It's a beautiful, and maybe later on I'll show you my view, because we can all have paradise. I'll talk about paradise as well. Anyway, so back to my topic at hand. By the way, I'm working on you. So if you're feeling a strong push like this one, something is happening to my solar plex. It's unbearable. It's becoming unbearable. Please help. So again, even so, if you are experiencing, say, a push upon you, that's me. Okay, that's my frequencies that I generate for you, and it's nothing bad, by the way. But the heaviness, the burdens, and all that stuff that you should let go of, okay, you need to let go of. Okay, time is running out. Time, the way we see it, is running out, guys. This new consciousness, and again, I predicted it years ago. Telling people, hey, we need to really be awakened as this new consciousness comes in, because if you're not, well, you either get trampled over by it, run down by it, and it doesn't care. It's just like a big, huge wave. If you're strong enough, it'll take you where you need to go. If you're weak, it'll just knock you over. Simple as that. And you go, well, that's not fair. That's not right. That's not spiritual or anything. It actually is, because that's the way nature works. Spirituality, in most people's senses, it doesn't work out with love and light and all that bullshit. And again, I totally love and light and all that. But how do you get to that point? Right? That's the ingredient that most people will ignore. They just want to hold on to their shit, and then they go up to, I just want to be love and light. Well, how can you hold on to your shit and then be love and light? It doesn't work out that way. And those people who've tried it that way as well, they just go into a brilliant space. What happens is that they destroy themselves. They go mentally crazy. They can't stay in this reality. Um, they can't stay in this reality with all that garbage. So they literally burn out. On the other side, again, that's the people who are, say, pure. They went on the other side. That's the people who are, say, pure. They just went into that love and light. They literally burn up or get mentally unstable. On the flip side, it's okay to hold on to your garbage, right? But you ascend. No matter where you are, you ascend. You ascend, and then what happens is that you will get addicted, you'll get distorted, you'll get abused, you'll get victimized, you'll get beat up. So either way, and then on that side, the reason why you do that is because, well, you don't die on this side. You just get, close to death, or you'll feel like death, because whatever, say, controls you, or whatever, say, supports you at some level, needs your energy in this physical realm to stay alive or suck the life out of you. And that's why, again, victimization, abuse patterns, all those things start to, if you've noticed, again, it's a death process, but it's a very slow death process. So that's the two sides. And it sounds kind of dark and scary, but what if you were in the center? And that's what we talk about, effortless self-discipline. What if you were in the center of, say, the light and the dark? That's where you want to be. It takes a hell of a lot of discipline to stay, say, centered. Imagine that you're on a balance board, on a balance board. You need to stay centered. You can't go off to the left. You can't go off to the right, right? Most people who think about, say, self-discipline, and it's an interesting topic, self-discipline, and even more, when I was writing this content, I scour YouTube, and the latest trend was effortless self-discipline. So I was intrigued by that. I'm going, wow, what is effortless self-discipline? So effortless self-discipline, according to the latest trending video on YouTube, is about you just loving it. Basically, you're just loving everything, and you just seem to be on that path. You just like go with the flow, basically. And yeah, that can work because that's how XI works. But again, you need to get rid of your garbage before you go with the flow. Because if you're going with the flow, say in a certain direction, and that direction is leading you, to victimhood, destruction, abuse, bad relationships, lack of money, you really don't want to go with the flow, right? So that video kind of, well, it was very inaccurate. Like many things in today's world, is very inaccurate, as you found out from the XI world. Once you elevate yourself to the XI world, right, you start to see how incongruent, rules and discipline and guidelines and laws are. It doesn't make sense, and there's always exceptions to those rules and guidelines and discipline. So again, it's not the top level, or it's not the first principle, say, discipline that we need. So let's take a deep breath in. So what is effortless self-discipline? Okay, the true way, or again, the first principle way, or the first definition of effortless self-discipline. So discipline, in many regards, at the lower levels of consciousness, where most people are, discipline, again, for the most part, is that, uh, for the most part, happens when you see something incongruent. So I'll give you an example. Say you're going to the west, okay, and the west is the wrong direction, okay? West is the wrong direction, and that's going to lead you to, say, relationships, and you guys, you might hear some background music and stuff like that. Anyway, so you're going to the west, you're going towards that direction, and again, in this case, um, harsh relationships, okay, not the best relationships for us. And then what happens is that, will you discipline yourself? Okay, so you're going down this path west, and it's the wrong direction. Okay, you're going down that path, it's the wrong direction, and you're in this rut, and so what you do is you go, well, I know I have some bad habits and bad attitudes and bad, discipline. So I want to keep centered on this path. But the key with that kind of discipline is that you're still going down the wrong path. You're still going towards the wrong direction. That makes sense to you. Let me give you another example. Okay, when parents discipline, and we've all been disciplined the wrong way. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to shut the door. You should see, it's the funniest thing ever. But I won't show you. It's Faye. She's really petite, and she's trying to shut this door. And the door weighs probably more than her, a hell of a lot more than her. Anyway, it's pretty damn funny. So, sorry. Let me just help her real quick, guys. I'll be right back. It's a family affair, guys. Anyway, they were just putting some music on, so we wanted to close the door, and these doors are huge, and Faye is just this little petite thing. So anyway, so let's take a. Yeah, the door is huge, by the way. Let's take a deep breath in, guys. It's always good to laugh about where we are, right? Makes it easier for us to, say, elevate to that next consciousness. Take a deep breath in, guys. Sometimes I get too serious, but overall, guys, I'm never really serious at all. Although I look really, really intense. My kids, when they bring their friends home, it's like, God, your dad is the most intense guy I've ever met. And then later on, it's like, dude, your dad is just, he's the softest guy ever. So anyway, the reason why the intensity, because whenever you're in present moment time, you're just like so intensely focused. And that's the way it gives off, because most people get insecure, and the reason, so they think I'm intense, but in fact they're insecure. Those individuals, and many of you again who are, say, intense, right? What happens is that you come into a certain level of consciousness or completeness, or, say, again, precision in space-time, and you get intense, but the vibrancy of the emotions in that state is unbelievable. Your laughter, your joy, your pain, whatever it might be. Sure, it's intense, but you enjoy it, or you grow from it, and you move on, and then you're back to your original, say, unbelievable self again. So that's the intensity. Some of you think that I'm intense because I'm really, really focused on, say, what I talk about or what I do, right? Just think of the passion in life that you would have. By the way, I'm going to be teaching that on the singles event coming up for those who want to create a new timeless partner, right? Or your twin flame. right? Most people want to say attract, and you've heard other events go, attract your, your love partner or your twin flame, right? Your soulmate. Why attract? Why not? Why not fucking create? That way, you are sure of what you need or what you want, right? Down to the detail. That's what I did, by the way. And then a couples event as well, timeless, the XI relationship, getting into XI relationships. We go way beyond, normal relationships, basically timeless, because over time, couples relationships, there's so much problems in front of us. Hope they don't cheat on me. Hope, we don't get old together. For women, hope, the guy fell in love with me because of my looks and so on. Now I'm aging, I hope he still loves me, right? All those insecurities. But if you're in a timeless relationship, if you're in a timeless relationship, those things never happen. You're just love of each other. Someone says, "I thought twin flames were predestined." No, not at all. You create them depending on the level. That's why most people, sure, they're predestined. Okay, if you want to think it that way. Um, uh, and these are all topics that I talked about on the 13 ways to heal your love pain, which you can get for free, by the way, by signing up for the newsletter. So take a look at that. But and we're jumping a lot here. So anyway, no, at a high level, yes, they're predestined, but they're really not predestined. But there is somebody that say can attune you to take you to higher levels. So in that case, yes, you're predestined. At the lower levels, it's not. So in a sense, you would have to ascend to a higher level to have that say predestined mate. But at that higher level, you basically create your soulmate. Okay, so anyway, let's take a deep breath in. Get back onto say discipline because that's what we're here for. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place. Being hacked kind of threw me off, so sorry about that, guys. But a lot of good knowledge that we're sharing here. So on discipline overall, and then effortless self-discipline is, and all the modalities, and even this latest trending YouTube video, effortless self-discipline, and that's where I got the title because I wanted to be in with that genre. Effortless self-discipline is that no matter what you do, no matter how you discipline yourself, you're still going down that path, right? And I was going to give you a parent-child example, right? You have you're going down the wrong path, right? You're going down the wrong path as a child, and maybe back, you might go back to your memories when you were a kid or how you're raising your kid. Okay? You're going down the wrong path. You're doing the wrong things in life, and then you get disciplined. And this is what most people think about discipline, right? You get disciplined, and then what happens, right? They beat you up, or they take away something, or they remove whatever, right? And that's what discipline is about. So in a sense, that sort of discipline never works out because it's always derogatory. It's like it goes back to religion. Literally, you fucked up, and then now you're going to pay the price for it. Okay? And it's not a price that it's not a price that's set. It's a price that's created. Right? It's the price that you pay is fiat, okay? Because the price that you pay here is physical. So what that means is that, say you did something wrong as a kid. What do? They take your phone away. So that's the discipline, right? Nowadays, they take your phone away, or you go sit in your room, or you can't watch TV, or they take allowance away, or you can't watch your friends, or if you're a husband and wife, the wife doesn't have sex with you, removes the sex and all this. So all those things, again, does it really make you a better person? That's the problem with discipline. Discipline doesn't really make you a better person. It actually creates harshness in you. Right? If you've ever disciplined a kid too much, do you notice how harsh they get? Yeah, you're no different. As you turn into an adult, you're no different when you discipline, when you get disciplined, either through work, your spouse, or yourself. It never, ever works. The reason why Okay? The main reason why, or the top reason why, is because it the discipline didn't allow you to go down a different path. You're still going west in this example, and west is the wrong way to go for you. Okay, I'm not picking on west, by the way. You could pick on any other, say, coordinate. It doesn't matter. This is just an example. Okay, so don't get stuck on, well, Ma said it's the west is wrong. No, I'm just using that as an example. Okay, so as you're still going the wrong path, taking away your phone or taking away sex or taking whatever, you're still going the wrong path. And now you've solidified whether it's good discipline or say reward, right? Your kid gets a reward for doing something. And here's the problem with rewards as well. So we'll cover the whole gamut here. So here's the problem with rewards. What happens with rewards is, again, it solidifies the incongruencies that you are, right? Your kids get a good grade, okay? And then you reward them, okay? Which is totally fantastic. Again, they should get rewarded. You embrace life and do those successes right. You reward, but let's do it right. So either if you discipline or the other way, reward or cherish, you're still going the wrong path is the key. And whatever that you do solidifies you in that path. It creates a rut. And then the more you discipline, say, a child or an adult, because those children turn into adults, right? Or the more you embrace their, say, greatness incongruently, it falls them into a rut. It drops them into a rut. So they still go the wrong direction. So their life purpose, so to speak, their end result is the wrong direction. Okay. So the same thing on the flip side, because we have a lot of business people here as well. And yes, I'll scan you guys. And again, we're running a little late. So again, we'll do the analysis after this talk. Let's take a deep breath in as I help you remove the distorted disciplines and the distorted blessings, I guess, for you, blessed upon you or from others as well. We'll talk about blessings as well. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Here we go. Again, this is an experiential workshop. It's not just a talk, and that's why you might be feeling very different. Okay. And that's why it's not just a flat, say, two-dimensional talk. I generate frequencies that help you transform. I call it real-time transformational protocol, by the way. Just a very different, it's a new word, but again, Exxon. So when we discipline ourselves from a business standpoint, okay, and again, we're going west again, and west is the wrong direction for us. Okay, so in the business sense, what do we do as we discipline ourselves? And people go, well, it's really good because if it wasn't for that discipline, I would have never be who I am. So I'm going to be talking about, say, that caveat, which isn't really a caveat, by the way. Okay, I'll explain all those. And again, I'll end up doing a lecture series because it goes in detail, but I'll give you a surface level or a higher level explanation. So you want to start a company, you want to make a lot of money, you discipline yourself because everybody says you have to discipline yourself. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, you have to, do whatever, you have to, create your alone time, you have to create that, there's this one, again, top dog, I guess, in the self-improvement. He says that he disciplined or he, say, psychs himself up for 3 hours a day. Who has 3 hours a day to get into that state? So sure, I'm not going to name names, but it's a hell of a long time, right? So let's take a deep breath in. Is there another way? Hell yeah, there is a lot more efficient way. Anyway, so when you start to discipline yourself and you start to create, say, another identity, because that's what state change is, right? That's what state changes is like. You're meek, you're a lamb on the inside because for whatever reason you're a lamb on the inside, yeah, or you're a sheep on the inside. What do? You psych yourself up, right? You become this gladiator, and it's like, fuck, I'm a lion. I'm a lion. Now you have two identities. Or you're very, insecure. You're very incomplete. You've been bullied and all those other things. Again, you're insecure. You're incomplete. You're not, say, a self-made individual. What do? You create an identity of, say, somebody who's successful. Simple as that. So, but the problem is now there's two problems that's happening for you. You're still going the wrong direction. Okay? You're still going the wrong direction. One, and I'll explain the wrong direction for you, because you go, well, I made my money, I made success, and I'm still going the wrong direction. That's where I wanted to go. Okay, but this is where one, success doesn't fulfill you. This is where you lose your relationships. This is where you magnify the distortions and the weaknesses that you are. Okay, so that discipline didn't really help you. Two, you've created two identities of yourself. One, the original self, or the weaker self that now has to hide in the closet, or you have to bury all the time. It happens to a lot of, say, overnight stardoms, right? Overnight, they become super successful and they end up killing themselves, right? You might think, well, shit, I reached my goal really fast. Why aren't I happy? Well, that's the reason why. Because they actually lost themselves because of that identity, right? They have an on-stage presence identity, or if you're a CEO, what you display in, on the boardroom, compared to, your real identity that still needs nurturing, that still needs whatever that child, say, that got hurt and got abused, that never got taken care of. That thing still, like, it starts to expand or starts to grow in you, and it starts to destroy you. It starts to destroy the original identity. Okay, there's a reason for that on why that happens from the XI process that I won't talk about here, right? But I encourage you to do the 18 days, and we'll talk about that. The 18 days meditation, it's the fastest way to transform your life, hands down. I don't care what you've done in the past before. If it's not an XI 18-day, it's called a singularity meditation. So for those who've done the 18 days in the past, change the name because, again, with my abilities, transforming, huge shift. So again, the 18-day singularity meditation for you. It's the fastest way to transform your life, hands down. I don't guarantee a lot of things, but I can guarantee that for you. Anyway, and that's real shift, by the way. That's where you want to go. So what happens, again, you have to discipline yourself, right? You wake up, you're not motivated to go to the office. You're not, motivated for life. You're not motivated. And then it takes you, a couple hours or whatever your morning routine to get you into another identity of who you are. Again, leaving, the pain, the burdens, the little child, the smaller individual who grew up, right, not knowing themselves, right? That still is there, where the big man or the big woman, in front of a CEO, in front of millions of people going, oh, look at me, I'm all successful. They go back home. And again, so that kind of discipline, again, it takes a ton of discipline. Okay. And that's what most, say, business people talk about, that tons and tons of discipline that it takes to go, I am not that weak person anymore. Okay. I want to forget about that weak person and stay here. So they use discipline, again, as a separation. The more wealth that you have, the more success that you have, by the way, and the more non-wealth and non-success. It goes both ways, by the way. It goes both ways. Okay. Wealth is a magnifier, so it's just faster for you. So overall, what are you doing? You're still going into the wrong path. You're still going into the wrong path, and you're using discipline. And again, all the success books, all the self-help books, all the religious books, all those aspects, again, you're going the wrong direction. You just want to be a so-called better person, a wealthier person, a healthier person, going the wrong direction. Okay, that's what discipline is based on. Okay, it doesn't work because the end result is the same end result. You're still going in, I can't stress this enough, you're still going in the wrong direction. That's the problem. So no matter if you arrived in, a $5,000 suit, a Gucci purse, whatever it is, or homeless, you still ended up with the same endpoint. Again, when you cross over, right, or when you get close to death, and I've talked to a lot of dead people through my time. By the way, I'm 60 years old, and as people age, they never talk about shit. I should have disciplined myself more. You know, I should have made more money. I should have stayed more in the boardroom. I should have forgotten my family more. I should have done all these things because that would have helped me more. No, it doesn't. It doesn't help you more. So when they get old, it's like, fuck, I should have paid attention to my inner self, my real self that was just crying and aching for some attention. But I didn't. I got pulled into this other arena thinking it would help me, right? So that's the discipline that, again, most self-improvement gurus talk about, religion talks about, your parents talk about, society talks about. It doesn't work out, right? And although if it's effortless, or it took a ton of say extreme willpower. Again, willpower is that effortless, right? A lot of people have sheer willpower, and they'll go towards that direction, that gung ho, and they'll make a lot of money, but at the end, they get the same damn results. Again, it's not the discipline, it's not the money or anything else. You're going in the fucking wrong direction. It doesn't matter how you get there. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. What we want to do, and this is effortless self-discipline, by the way. Okay, talk about that for a minute, and then we'll go into the analysis. Again, sorry about the delays, guys. Somebody hacked into my YouTube account, so crazy, unfortunate, but that's what happens when you start creating a, say, disruptive technology, right? That can change the world. Actually, imagine those people who have been on the XI train, right? You XIers, and shout out, give me a shout out, and please like this video. Do you imagine life without XI? Every aspect of your identity changes, right? It's not just, well, I made more money or I'm healthier now. Your whole freaking identity and how you see every aspect of being changes. That's the kind of discipline you're looking for, right? And there's no burden in that, by the way. Okay, even if there's physical burden, like working a hell of a lot, or sometimes sometimes we still get, say, spanked and all that. So I'll give you the right direction. Okay, so what you need to discipline, okay, or effortless self-discipline is, well, one, you need to change your level of consciousness that you're in. Okay, when you change that level of consciousness, and I've talked about consciousness on another Moss on Sunday, so I won't be talking about the definitions of consciousness, or maybe, but when you're going into the direction, right, the direction that you need to go, okay, and it's not about money or anything like that, by the way. Although money, wealth, abundance, health, vibrancy, a connection to a higher source, a Godhead, is all part of it. Okay, most people think, again, discipline is, I need to pray 5 times a day, I need to go to church on Sunday, I need to do all that. By the way, if you're Middle Eastern, Happy New Year, and it's the first day of spring, by the way. It's the new year for the Middle Eastern or Muslim people. So, and again, I'm not knocking any religion down. I'm just kind of pushing on them to make it more congruent. So they take that discipline again, but they're still going the wrong way. They're not finding themselves. So what is going the right way? Going the right way is like finding your identity, your completeness of who you are. Okay, you're not all the definitions. A mother, I'm a CEO, I'm a drug addict, I'm a heart. I'm a cancer survivor. All those definitions, those aren't you. Those are the robes that you've worn. They're not you. Okay. So in this case, effortless self-discipline, and it does become effortless, right? Because you don't have to do anything once you're on the right track, once you're pointed on the right path, right? You really don't have to do anything. although you do a ton of things, but you don't have to force yourself to go. You don't have to force yourself to go, oh shit, okay, I'm going to wake up and then I'm going to discipline myself to be, say, excited about life. So you don't have to force yourself. You wake up and you're excited about life, right? You don't need 10 cups of coffee. You don't need a lot of shit, right? You don't need to create 3 hours of another self-identity because you're already gung-ho and everything ready to go because the day is an adventure for you. So again, that's effortless self-discipline. And when you want something, okay, like many people think that XI is a cult. Okay, and obviously it's not, because we don't allow you to. I actually did a talk about is XI a cult because so many people go, oh, you joined this Moscow, he's a cult. That's the worst. Your religions, your belief systems, all those mechanisms. Again, I talked about it on another call. I'll probably do an updated version. Those are all cults, right? You can't go out of your identity. You can't go out of your religion. You can't go out. The only thing that XI dictates, and there's probably people here that are thinking or like, this is a cult, right? Because so many people embrace it. It's not. The only thing XI, the only one covenant that XI has is that you be your best damn possible self every moment of every day. So if you think that's a cult, or if it is a cult, that's the kind of cult that I want to join. I don't ask you to dress differently. I don't ask you to believe anything differently or anything like that. I just ask you to believe in yourself, to be the best damn possible self you can be every moment of the day. Okay, nothing else. You can wear anything you want. You don't have to wear, I don't know, the cute little hats that some religions wear and all those things. But that's something else. There's so many different people, guys, and I can analyze all of you. In just a bit, when we get into the Moss analysis, I'll describe what my abilities are. But you're going into a right direction, and it's the direction. So every moment of the day, imagine, you're getting more and more of who you are. You're loving yourself more and more every moment. You're expanding your possibilities of who you could be, right? You're not just worried about money, because there's no need to worry about money. The self-discipline to say, hold on to money starts to come because it's not about the money. You don't care about the money. Again, you care about the money, but not in the way the wrong direction people call. Because people who care about money going the wrong direction, they care about it because they've lost their identity. They think money will have an identity for them. It doesn't work out that way. You're going into the right direction, right? You're going into the right direction. You're identifying who you are, a grander version, that limitless self of who you are. What happens? You're naturally going to self-discipline, effortless discipline on making money. And again, shout out, guys. Give me a comment. Give me a comment on those people, right? Those people who had horrendous money issues. They couldn't keep a dime even if they tried. And now it's like money just shows up and they can hold on to it, and it's self-deserving, self-respecting, right? Again, many of you, thank you for the comments, by the way. So that's the way it is, right? You don't have to psych yourself up. You don't have to say discipline yourself for your success, because if you're going towards the right track, and that's why I was talking about a cult, if something, say, is satiating you at your inner core, right? And that's what XI is. If something is satiating you at your inner core, you naturally will gravitate to it. And as you get stronger and stronger, as you shed away all the bullshit that you are, all the garbage that we hold on to as our identities, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you, right? And then what happens is, well, you discipline and you naturally or effortlessly self-discipline yourself, okay? And in this instance, discipline is about, how do I stay more congruent with who I am? How do I stay more congruent, or in the higher levels of XI students, how do I become more precise in the crossroads of space and time? How do I define myself more? How do I define myself with, say, within a minute, say, moment of time and space? and it becomes a euphoric state. So that's the discipline that you need. Does it take work? It does. When in the beginning, it takes more work than becoming a millionaire or a billionaire or anything else that you've tried. Okay? The reason why is because you're not accustomed, although it's your natural state. Okay, your humanity is going the wrong direction. Okay, that's why these aren't inherent traits of us. Although if you were a child, they're inherent traits, and then we get sucked into, say, the fray, right, on how most of society works. But in the beginning, it does take, say, discipline, right? For some of you, for most of you, you've been searching for this moment. Right? And I know it's more and more, and that's why we literally double and quadruple as far as, say, clients go. So, and again, you see, like, you hear my voice, or you might see my message or see my image and go, shit, that guy can help me. But again, how many people have said that? You know nothing about me, and you go, that guy can help me. That guy's a real thing, right? Because at a deeper level, you're searching for somebody that can show you the right path. Right? They're not going to take you on that path, by the way. I'm not going to take you on that path, and that's the other key. Okay, I'm not going to take you on that path. I can guide you towards that path. I can tell you what to watch out for. I can tell you what to look for and all that. But that path is you and you alone. If anybody else says, I'll take you down that path, run the other way, because they're going to use and abuse you and distort you, and usually are in a cult, like religions, unfortunately, societies, clubs, and all those things. All right. So let's take a deep breath in. So once you fall into, again, that path, and in XI terms, once you come into, say, a consciousness, a higher level or a higher state of consciousness, okay, there's no way you can abuse yourself. There's no way that you'll be incongruent or self-deprecate yourself or others. It just doesn't exist in that consciousness. So there's no need for that type of discipline. The only type of discipline that you're actually looking for is a congruency or a precision in space and time. Right? That might sound off to you. Right? You go, well, how does that help me make money? Again, do the 18 days. Right? Do the April 18 days. For those who are new. And if you are new, I would suggest the essential, okay? Just the essential. I don't care how elevated you are, or how many self-improvement modalities, or if you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on, I don't know, going on all these seminars and stuff like that. It hasn't worked out as well as the one single 18-day. Okay, and I can guarantee that, by the way. But do the 18 days. You'll see what you're looking for is becoming more precise in space and time. You want to find yourself. So what that means, again, at a different level, is that your timeless self, okay, your spirit, if you want to call it that, your time-bound self. Okay, no matter if you're atheist or whatever, you still have these two identities: your timeless self and your time-bound self. It's a merging of the two. That's the discipline you're looking for. Again, it's a crossroads of space and time. The more precise you are, the more, say, in the I am state you are. You're just a state of being. Again, for me, I don't have a physical being and then a spirit or something outside of me that's grander. It's all mixed. That's where you want to be. So you want to have that type of discipline. As soon as you awaken to that, you just naturally, say, gravitate to it. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in, guys. And again, I don't have all the pretty graphics and all that stuff. So let's go into the reading, the analysis. And by the way, I'm not psychic. I don't have psychic abilities. I am not clairvoyant, clairaudio, whatever it is, because those are intuitive abilities. And again, those are of the physical world. Okay, what you want is just a state of consciousness. You want to go beyond and operate from, say, the no time zone, and live and exist and observe this reality here. That's how you want to experience life here. So what does that mean? So just to, I guess, clarify it for you, Tesla and Einstein and all those great scientists, and even you, when you get that aha moment, right? It's like, oh shit, I have this brilliant idea. So, and I just use Tesla, or even like Elon Musk, right? What do? They don't exist. They don't grab those ideas from here. What do? They go to a higher level of observation, a higher level of consciousness, and then they look down and they go, "Oh, that's the way to do it," right? So you're observing life from a different perspective. Basically, a short term for genius, right? A definition of genius. A genius is looking at the same thing very differently. Again, out of this consciousness. And then they come back down. The key with XI is that, well, you just stay at that level of consciousness. Simple as that. And then you figure out how to exist physically here, but your consciousness is up here, right? So that's the key. Your identity, everything aspect of you, you actually physically live here. Your reflection of who you are is in the physical form here. Okay, and again, the lecture series for you would clarify that, would give you, say, the science or the physics behind how exponential intelligence works. Okay. So let's take a deep breath in. So that's where my abilities come in. So basically, at a higher level of consciousness, and I observe your patterns. So I can read any of your patterns. I know more about you than Google, Facebook, your parents, you, because I can tap into you. I don't need to know your name. And the way that works is you can give me a fake name, give me a fake identity, give me a fake picture. In fact, people go, well, if, and just to give you an example, say you have a session with me, like private session with me, and those do get booked up pretty quick though. So if you want, there's a waiting list now. So we've created a waiting list so we don't miss, so you don't miss out. And you go, my mom, it's like, Moss, can you tap into my mom? Or I have a friend that is, and I can tap into them. That's all I need to know. Okay. So those aspects, again, on how, say, abilities work or my abilities work, is in the lecture series, or the science behind exponential intelligence. I say that not to impress you, but I say that because you're built the same way. We're all the same. We just live at different levels. So I help you become a higher being or a higher state, and this is where magnificent things can happen for you. Okay, so let's move into awesome. A lot of people on the waiting list. Yeah. So again, guys, I get booked up pretty quick. One of the best ways, guys, if you're new, my abilities have gotten so potent. By the way, the 18 days will clear out a lot of garbage that you have. Right? I don't need a one-on-one session to, again, help you heal yourself, help you become more wealthy, help you, have better relationships. Right? I don't need one-on-one sessions for that. You might think you do because you're not. You don't. Those things have become so proficient that in 18 days you'll have, even within the first few days of the 18 days, you'll change radically. And then you can use the private sessions. Okay, that investment to go, shit, I've fixed myself here, but what are the potential? So I'd rather work on your potential, okay? And it saves you some money as well, all right? Let's take a deep breath in. And as I analyze an individual, I'm not just analyzing you and telling you what's going on. I'm actually helping you, say, rewrite your programming, okay? This one, if you can please help me separate even more, right? And again, a ton of new people and more and more people, more and more observers from, say, the other self-improvement genres, or, the people who are big in those groups. Actually, I can sense them. It's like, how does this guy work? All my clients are telling me, hey, you should check out this Moss guy. So thank you for that, guys. If you are doing, again, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, and all those great individuals, again, they're great individuals. I'm not knocking down, but without XI, their program doesn't, say, hold water. With XI, you'll elevate yourself faster, so much faster with what they do. Because and here's the key, guys, I do not teach anything that they do. They're fantastic individuals. I love them. I've actually gone to, some of their seminars and learned quite a bit of the physical stuff here. I remove the underlying infrastructure for you. Okay, so two very different things. Okay? Although they might think of it as competition. That's why I'm saying this. I'm just analyzing. I'm not competition for you guys at all. Guys. There's nobody else that can do what XI can do for you. Simple as that. Whatever you do on top of that, it just works better. Okay. So this one, if you can please help me separate even more. This is Novolin, Nova Lin, Novolin. So yes, so what's happened for you through the process of XI? Again, Novolin, if I analyze you guys, please comment back. Not for my accuracy, but just to show you all that there is something that I tap into that is very accurate, and then it allows those people who are new to go, oh shit, this guy is accurate, and then also for those who are up and coming to go, oh, where is that, say, consciousness held at, so you can access it as well, so your abilities rise. All right. So again, so Novolin, what's happened for you? You've had kind of like two identities from what I'm seeing. So what XI has done is in the past you were like mixed together as one identity, and you didn't know. There was a lot of confusion. So whatever you've done with XI is like you separated your real self and then the fake self. And the fake self is always something that you say run away from. If that makes sense to you? You're always running away, or you're always like walking on eggshells. So when people are running, say, that type of, say, pattern, what do is that you don't want to, say, disturb the boat, right? You don't want to rock the boat. What do? You walk on eggshells, unfortunately, right? You conform to that person's identity so you don't have to argue with them. And you've done that throughout your whole life. And you have, again, multiple identities. You're with your father, boom, you turn into that, say, girl, turn into that girl that your father likes, right? You're not your real self. It's very different than, say, multiple personalities, or schizophrenia and those types of things. You just like conform because, again, you're always, again, trying to escape. Because you always have to conform to somebody else to not get in trouble and not get into a fight and all that stuff. So what you've done with XI, which is really fantastic, and I'll do that for you a bit more, so congratulations, just pull you even more, separate your identity even more, and then you can walk away from that older identity, and then you look at yourself and you go, well, you know what? I don't have to, say, transform into anybody else anymore. It's about time, right? I'm older, like I just want to be me, and this is where your natural self starts to come in. So congratulations on that. This one, I would love a scan. I've had dead people trying to latch onto me lately. These might be some around me still. So this is Nick. So I know Nick personally. He's done some events like the big one that he did was it's called the human. Well, he's done the human reset, but the bigger version. What's that? What's that thing that we did? The big event that we did in San Diego. I forgot the name because it was a long time ago. We haven't done live events in so long.
Which one?
Not the Healing Mastery.
Yeah, Healing Mastery events.
Yeah, Healing Mastery events. We're in the future, guys. So take a look at that. It's called Human Mastery because it's not just about healing abilities. It's about human mastery. So we're going to be doing that as soon as we get more and more live.
Read this disclaimer.
Oh yeah. So also, guys, before I read, I need to read disclaimer. This is Sajady with Xponential Intelligence, Sunday, March 21st, 2021. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So please consult your doctor or professional advice. If you ask to be scanned today, you are agreeing that we may use your sessions on any public media to help inspire others. So again, overall, if you want to keep yourself private, book a private session. Right? Simple as that. Don't ask to be scanned. All right. Alrighty. So again, Nick, I know him. He's fantastic. He used to be quite addicted to drugs. I mean, hard level drugs. And he was actually on the 13 days, talking about his story. Hard level, like cocaine and I don't know, some other drugs. Things that people don't get away from, right? Totally clean. More so though, is amazing, is that his like his system, his nervous system and all that reclaimed itself, which is quite amazing. So again, for you, so what you're doing, Nick, is that you are starting to awaken to, say, a consciousness where, well, basically, say, dead people cross over. And that might sound really weird or non-scientific, but basically, your consciousness here, physical form, physical density, you can create physical density here, okay? Your identity still exists, or your timeless self still exists somewhere. So what you do is you let go, you dispose of your physical body here because you can't stay here. You can't stay in it anymore for some reason or another. And then you just elevate, you go to another level of consciousness where you can't create, but your consciousness or your identity, your infrastructure, your timeless self, your spirit still exists, just in another consciousness. So many of you are experiencing, again, and I talked about this long time ago, consciousness level zero, where most of society exists, this density. The next level, layer of consciousness, where unfortunately most people who die, they don't get awakened through religions or anything else. They just cross over to the next level. Those two realities or consciousness are merging as we ascend higher. Okay, this process of evolution happens all the time, by the way. This is just a bigger one. So now you're merging in with the dead, and I did again predict that. A lot of people are going to be experiencing dead people around them, or thinking of dead people, or going back into, say, older trends, like fads. You'll see a lot of clothing fads and all that stuff reappear. Nostalgia, all those things reappear in the near future, because again, the two identities merge. So those people who died, say, from the 70s, for example, and this is just an example, they'll recreate themselves through here. Okay. This one is on Brandy Miles, scan request stability. So Brandy, it's interesting for you, your midsection or your lower section, so your belly button down, so your groin area, basically there's no identity there for some reason. And you're it seems like you might be new to me. So in your situation, what happens is that since there's no identity, and we'll tap into why there isn't in just a second. And again, comment back for accuracy. What happens is that you start to become aware, right? You do the 18 days or whatever that you do with me, or the 13 ways to heal your love pain, all those things that you do, you start to awaken to your identity of who you are, of sense of self. You start to awaken to that. And then what happens is that you start to see that you have no identity in your groin area. And then you might become a little insecure, but then you're happy because it's like, shit, that's what I need to focus in on. So let's create more of that identity. And as a child, it just seems that a lot of insecurities. I want to say you haven't been, say, abused at some level, but within your family, there's always a fear of being, say, molested, not severely, but that kind of feel in your family. So your mother hyperactive or hyperprotective to, say, keep you safe as a child, so you don't get, say, sexually, say, molested, through maybe a cousin or an uncle or an aunt or whoever, that kind of feel. So that identity, basically, you lack back in the day, okay? And it's not because you were, it's just because the fear of your mom pushed upon you causes unfortunately, the same frequency if you would have gotten, say, molested. So I know it doesn't make sense, but it's just the same way. If you're fearful of getting beat up, right? And you're putting all locks, or the people on COVID, right? Those people who are so fearful of getting COVID, right? They wear the mask, double mask, the tires and all that, hazmat suit. And what happens? I know so many people, what do they get? They get freaking COVID because they attract that to themselves. So the same thing here, you kind of like attracted that from the fear of your mom. So releasing that, and that's why there's a lot of fear in you as well. So that's the underlying fear, although you might have fear in a lot of other, say, aspects of your life. It all boils down to that one fear. So I would suggest doing a session as you stabilize. Okay, so this session would have like created that fix for you to say create that identity here, and you go, shit, I'm a strong identity, I'm a strong woman. And by the way, sensuality and sex and all that stuff never feels good to you, although you're always attracted to it, again, because it's that abuse pattern. And then afterwards it's like, shit, I got abused, or I more empty here. A lot of women that run this pattern, that's why I'm saying that. Okay, they're trying to create an identity by loving somebody physically. It doesn't work out, you lose your identity, so you don't want to do that. So again, I would suggest a session in about a month for you, not to fix yourself because of the problem, the situation that you're running, not that, because in a few months you'll be solid. This is, and from there I can show you the potential. So it's not about fixing your stuff. You're already on a good track there. This is about pushing you into your potential. Okay. Nicolesta Guterres, and again, if I chop up your name, sorry about that. Scam me, please. My head face has been tired, yet my body feels good. What's going on? So for you, when there's been people or identities inside you, what did you like say about a dozen or so identities. So in you, again, in your family, you hold on to death. You never let go of death. You know, somebody dies in their consciousness. And I did do a lecture series on the science of death. Okay, and we'll do part 2 on that. There's so much information about death. It's quite intriguing, and it's very different than the science community, the medical community, and then religions talk about. So in your family, again, you hold on to those individuals' identity. So that's why you have all these, say, personality traits on you. So let's take a deep breath in, and whatever that you've done with XI, basically you're you know how you get into a relationship, Nicolesta. I love that name. I hope I'm saying it right. And then you just find yourself getting pushed down, right? And then their identity takes over. Okay. So whether it's, again, dead people of another consciousness, right, or another presence, or physical people, right? They just like start to consume you, and you just get drained out. So now, whatever that you've done with XI, it's like all that stuff is releasing from you. So you've cleaned a lot out, right? And you've cleaned from the bottom up, because again, it was a reverse when people took over you, right? They would just push their essence in you. This is where you get really tired when you're hanging out with people, especially with your intimate person. And this is just like, shit, why do I get so tired when I'm with my lover? Well, this is the reason why. And again, intimacy doesn't work out well, because afterwards it's like you've got more of them in you, right? And again, it doesn't work out well. And then this is where you just feel lethargic, or you feel like death, or your life is just so slow. That's the reason why. As of late, you've got more energy because you're not supporting all those people. So say that you broke up. You've had like 4, 5, 6 relationships. And again, comment in on the accuracy. Not for my benefit, I know I'm accurate, but for you and others. So all those 6 people are still, say, in you. They're still sucking the life out of you. So what you've done, again, with whatever that you've done with the 18 days or XI, is like, it's like, shit, I want my own body back. So it's a reverse cycle for you. So in this mini session, for you and then others who run this pattern, again, like exuding you, or not exuding you, taking out, what is it called? It's an exorcism, basically, a frequency exorcism. This is Enrique Vasquez. Again, in Spanish. I don't know. I don't understand Spanish, but I just analyze you. So Enrique, by the way, if you are of a foreign language and you don't understand, it doesn't matter. You can still have a session or do the 18 days because it's not about what I say, it's about the frequencies. Simple as that. So for you, Enrique, and then for all those say, English speaking individuals, just take a deep breath in, and you probably won't understand this, but hopefully you have a translator. Work on you guys. For you, again, a lot of say religion or good person frequencies in you, and you're always fighting. It's like shit. My true self is over here, but religion and society tells me that I should go this path. Again, so which do I choose? And then the further and further you start to separate yourself, basically, right? Between your real self, your real passion of who you want to be and who you want to live life like, or the way your mom and religion and society. So again, it's always like, so who are you going to have faith in, right? Or who are you going to trust in? And then unfortunately, you don't have that strength or momentum. So you start to take off and you start to feel really, really vibrant over time, but then all of a sudden you feel guilty and like you're going the wrong way or you're committing a sin, and then all of a sudden you just get snapped back into the wrong path. Being a good boy, because that's what your mom would always say. Enrique, you're a good boy. And then what do we say when we're a good boy? Right? We hold on to that identity that your mom was pleased with. So what I was doing again, helping you separate and then stay on that right track for you. Okay? That one, Nicolesta, thank you, Moss. That was accurate, right? So this one is, again, a lot of Spanish speaking. So we're going to do some more events in Spanish. We'll have a Spanish translator, guys. Okay. This one, Vanessa Allen. I wish to grow and always lose myself in love and want to move forward, but I feel a block around my entrepreneurial success. Can you please scan me? So kind of all over, but overall, basically what you're doing is like, again, Vanessa, and it's probably gotten more, you're probably gotten more aware of the patterns that you're running. So that's part of the process of XI. Is basically you're here, right? You're this beautiful flower, and then you feel so vibrant and everything. And then what happens is you want to blossom. But then what's wrong or how you see yourself is like, you don't want to blossom. You want to blossom here. You want to expand your identity where you are. Okay. But what you do is you fall in love and you go, oh, that person is going to help me blossom. But then that person takes you over here, and then you kind of blossom, and then, well, you die really quick. It's like shit. Because if you disconnect it, you're actually supposed to be here in, say, a certain quadrant, again, or fourth dimension, or in a reality. Okay, this is where you can only blossom. By the way, no matter what level of success, relationships, or anything, you can only blossom in one spot where you should be. Okay, again, crossroads of space and time. But you go, oh, I'm going to blossom over here with this person, or I'm going to blossom over here with my entrepreneurial success. Right? And you've done that several times and it hasn't worked out. Okay? That's why businesses kind of like, they might start out good, but then again, they fail. Okay? That's the underlying reason. And it's a safety mechanism, by the way. You might think it's a curse, but it's not. Because if you did create massive success here, you would be those individuals who would be so off balance that you might want to, say, disconnect or not want to be here again in your earlier days. Maybe in your early teens, you didn't want to be here. That was the reason. It wasn't because, again, many of you, not many of you, but a good number of you, not knowing where you are in space and time, you'd want to disconnect at some level. Or you would think that a lover or a business will take you, again, as I talked about the discipline, if you're going the wrong direction, nothing will help you. You need to change your direction and change your consciousness. So what you're finding out, again now, Vanessa, is that what's happening is that you're starting to awaken to the fact that it's like, if I go with this person, I'm going to lose my identity. If I create this on, the success, I'm going to lose my identity. So you're starting to see that separation. And as you see that separation, again, for your own good, you can't, because that would destroy you. So what we can do here, and this is where the success paradigm or the singles events that we're doing, and then also the couples events, okay, whichever one that you would fit in. I would do the singles events for you because, again, you lose your identity in a couple situation. So I would do the singles event first, even if you're with somebody, to find who you are. Okay, that's the key. So when you do that, and I'm helping you now, is create your self identity here. So again, the key is for you, it's not a curse. It's like, well, I can't find a relationship. I can't create success. No, you can't, because if you did, it would destroy you. Okay, so the key is to solidify yourself here, and it doesn't take long, by the way. You would solidify yourself here. Okay, you would solidify yourself here, and as you do, you expand into the person that you would say love and attract. Okay, you would expand into the success that you want. The benefit of that is that as you expand into that person that you are, not only do you achieve, say, this single point, like again, you're at point A, you want to reach point B. So in the past, you'd go from point A to point B to lose yourself, right? Point B might be money, love, health, whatever it is. Again, you lost yourself. It's not beneficial. What this does is you find yourself here, you blossom, and as you say, blossom and expand, you not only get point B, but then everything around you becomes available to you. So it's more, again, it's more expansive for you and more abundant for you. Okay, and it's not just like a circular space; it's like a space around you as well. It's a spherical expansion, not just like this one-way expansion, right? And that's what true wealth is about. I'll be talking about that on the racing. It's not a racing, it's high performance driving. It's the first live event that we're going to be having since COVID hit. And that's in my hometown, Brainerd, Minnesota. 2 hours north. It's a gorgeous place up there. You can bring your family. For those people who love to, ride. And it's great for your teenagers, by the way, because they'll show you top-notch trainers, by the way. Guy that's been driven with Lamborghini, Porsche, Maserati, Ferrari. He's been driven in those. That's who's going to teach you guys. Again, your teenagers on, say, defensive driving. And it's about you coming into such precision in space-time, right? Because that's what it's about. And then how to expand. And we're going to release the debut on spatial goal setting on that event. So take a look at that. It should be out there. There's going to be a free call coming up on that. Right? Long way from Portugal. It might be worth the trip, my friend. Let's see. By the way, you don't have to drive cars. You can just come for the event. This one is Nova. Some fantastic names here, by the way. Nova Era. Would love a scan and check on my progress. Must thank you. So you, again, really fantastic, Nova. What you've done is like you've created a self-identity, a nurturing identity of yourself. So you're kind of like in a little cocoon right now, which is okay. So you might feel separate or disconnected from people. Again, you go through the process at a higher level. Jesus, Buddha, all those great individuals. Tesla always says, "Hey, be alone." Right? That's where you learn most of yourself. So again, you're in a cocoon, and it's a nurturing cocoon. You might feel. You might feel like you're going back into your younger days. So basically a cocoon where you're going back and reparenting yourself or nurturing who you are or who you were at a younger age, okay? Who you were at a younger age. So quite beautiful. So take that time. Okay, don't think you're losing out or I have to do something and all that, because it's not about that. Okay, it's just you're going from the wrong direction, and again, you're cocoon and you're shifting yourself, going into the right direction for you. And then once that happens, the wealth and connections and all that stuff that you want will come through. I say that for other people who are in that process, but for you, you're actually loving the space. So you're loving the space that you're in. So again, enjoy it. I wish most people that are because everything's a process, right? I know exactly where you are depending on the frequencies you resonate or even the way you write your questions. And I wish more people would take the time to nurture themselves like you do. Most people go, you know, I don't want to sit still. I don't want to, like, you have to sit still. You have to nurture yourself. Okay. Again, you have to understand who you are to blossom properly. Okay. The outside stuff doesn't work out. So you're doing really well. The last person I analyzed was that's spot on. So thank you for that. Um, this is Gid Monahan. Am I in the right direction, Moss? So for you, Gid, you actually are getting closer and closer. You're kind of like 3/4 of the way there. Okay, so which is really fantastic. But again, the key is, are you in the right direction or not? Yes, that's really fantastic. But the key is observing that you're in the wrong or right direction. So that's what I'm helping you with, and that's the key. Is like, well, I just don't want, and I just don't place you in a direction and go, here you go. What I do, again, guys, I can only show you the probabilities and possibilities. I can't force you in any direction. That's against free will. So what I do is like train you on helping you understand that you're in the wrong direction. That's beneficial for you, because then you're always, in sync with your navigation system. Because if I just put you in the right direction, it's like, how did I get here, right? It messes you up. And then also, you didn't learn how to reposition yourself on your own. XI is all about you becoming completely independent, a nice self-identity. So what happens is, again, what you've done, Gid, which is really, again, fantastic, proud of you, buddy. What you've done is like, shit, I'm in the wrong direction. I need to let go of my mom patterns, my father patterns, create my own identity. You've probably pulled away from what I'm seeing a month or so ago, right? That created, again, that nurturing space for you, that self-identity to go. And now you're getting into the position too, is like, shit, I think your bone structure from your father, from what I'm seeing, it's like, shit, I don't need bone structure issues when I age. That's my father's pattern. I don't need that. So you're getting into, again, physical features on how you age even get. So good job for you there. So as you release, those type of identities, hereditary patterns, because again, from XI, you can say even disconnect from your hereditary patterns. Right? You'll get more and more positioned into the right direction. Right. This one, Ruthie Do. I love a scan, stuck in heartbreak guidance. Yes, so your identity has changed so much, Ruthie, but you're still trying to hold on to that, your old identity consciously. So from, say spirit level or, blueprint level, down to, your super subconscious, your subconscious mind, your yeah. So those things have changed for you, and that's say the path that you're on. So the next step for you is, again, changing your emotional state, your identity, and this love. Again, if analyzing it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but why are you heartbroken over? I see 3 love affairs that you never got over, by the way. So as you go through this process, it's not about connecting to somebody else. It's about healing the broken heart that you are. So yes, you're going to experience that. So don't have that knee-jerk reaction. It's like, I need to go. Well, actually, you're not going that way. You're not trying to find somebody. So I guess you're on track there. But basically, you're healing the heartbreak of your previous 3 relationships and so on, which is really fantastic. So in this mini session, just pushing you a bit more, so you're not basing how you heal, and this is where that confusion comes for you, and when I read you as well, which is good, is that you're changing your emotions, you're changing on your rule sets, you're changing your logic on how you heal, which is really fantastic for you. So let's just do it a little quicker, and then what we'll do is we'll just say observe. What you're going to do, Ruthie, is you're going to observe yourself looking at how you represented yourself in other relationships, and then you're going to kick yourself in the ass and go, holy shit, why would I ever let myself get, say, treated that way? And then, so when that starts to happen for you, don't beat yourself up. Other people have done that enough for you. You don't have to do it. Right? Your mom has done that, and your grandma has done that. So again, removing all that shit from you. So all those patterns are releasing, by the way, for you. Again, when you observe patterns like that coming off you, don't enact the patterns. Don't use those patterns that are coming off you. Right? Again, you're seeing how other people beat you up, so to speak, or took advantage of you, right? So why would you beat yourself up for what you did in the past? Learn and grow from it and go, shit, that's the pattern that I need to let go of. Patterns of guilt, shame, all those things that'll come up for you, okay? And, because you're separating away from, I don't know, your family or old habits of the family and all that stuff. Guilt, shame, anger, fear, again, those are the emotions that need to be recalibrated for you. So don't fall into them and you go, oh God, I feel guilty, I got to go back. Well, that's just going to recreate that cycle that you were in. So again, break away from that. Okay? This one, Billy, my scan last week was spot on and growth since has been awesome. Thank you. Luck of what was not mine, love of my life, and are better than ever. Human 8.0. Again, guys, as we end, we'll do one more. Larry Stephen Hines. Where do I stand on my XI journey? So for you, Larry, you're coming into, say, a pivotal moment. Again, this is where a death space is for you. Hey, where are you going? Come here. Come here. She looks so pretty.
Hi.
Hi. So many of you met Faye, my fiance. What was it? On the 13 days, the last part of the 13 days on the XI, love journey, and people wrote in so much and commented so much on, say, the affection and the connection, and you can tell that our relationship is very, very different. It's very, very connected. Not from a distorted point of view, but again, you can tell that frequency, that essence. That's the timeless frequency that we all should be in, right? And you can have all that. If you sign up for the newsletter, you get the 13 days, 13 ways to heal your love pain for free. It goes very intense. We get to go into the deeper understanding of what relationships are about, and then also the singles event coming up for you, and then the couples events to have that XI relationship. Many people go, when I saw the two of you together, it brought back the faith in me that something like that can exist. Makes sense for you?
Yes.
Thanks, baby.
Yes. Well, I was just going, it's his birthday today. We're in Mexico right now and staying in this really cute little boutique hotel. And the manager heard that it's his birthday, so he just called me and said he has some special surprise arrangement for him. I just spoiled the surprise. And he wanted to talk to me, so that's where I'm going.
All right.
So good to see you. Why do we stay here? Finish? Wait for you to come back.
Gets a little nervous. Right.
Okay.
The comments are just blowing up. So anyway, so with that in mind, guys, a lot of good things coming up for you. A lot of good things in XI. We're going to do one last thing, guys. For those people who did the wealth series, you were asking. Again, I'm going to probably jump back into cryptos. Again, we're going to be talking about that. We'll have a free session like I promised you on the wealth series. We're going to bring on this fantastic individual on understanding cryptos and where to invest, how to invest, and all that. So if you're interested in that, for those who did it is a free call, guys, or a part 2 of the wealth consciousness of wealth evolution that we did. So for you guys, you can get it for free. Other people, I guess, you'd get it. I don't know if you can get it for free or not, but it wouldn't make much sense to you if you didn't listen to the lecture series. So I would, if you're really interested in creating massive wealth the proper way, again, going into that right direction where wealth suits you, okay, is a reflection of you, not a facade of you. I would look that up. I think it's next week. I'm not exactly sure. Should be on the event page. If not, sign up for the newsletter and we'll get that to you. All right. One last thing, guys. I'll show you my baby picture. And then I'll just show it to you from my. Dang it. I can't find it, guys. It's a bad tech day, I guess. I can't find it, guys. I will post it on. I'll post it on Instagram for you. Okay, the baby. Somebody sent me my baby picture, and it was really cute. So I'll post that on Instagram for you again. So sign up for the Instagram. All right, guys. Take care, guys. Notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing. All right, peace. Thank you.